feel like it's been an eternity since I've done a proper everyday carry update for everyone. I've got a bunch of new changes to talk about here, so let's just dive straight into it. Starting first with the sunglasses, as you all might have noticed in the past few months, I've been moving more into some earth tones instead of just the grays and blacks. I found these sunglasses. They are the Huckberry Cruisers. They're only $35. They're polarized. They are super comfortable and they look great. The colorway I got here, they have a ton available, but the colorway I got is called Gloss Cola. It's kind of this brownish green color. I think they look excellent. Yeah, I've had these for a couple of months now, maybe 3 months, and I think they look great. Super cool look and design. They're super inexpensive. The quality seems pretty good, especially considering the price. All in all, I have zero complaints with these. Moving into my key organizer, this is another change I've made. I've been a big fan of the Orbit key organizers for quite some time, but I've had a few problems and issues with them that I've talked about in the past. A company called Jibbin had reached out back in like September, I believe, after the last EDC update I did, and they said they basically had something that would solve any issues that I had with the Orbit key. So I told them, feel free to send it out. They were so confident. I'd love it. I figured it would make for some good content either way, and I am happy to report that this thing has been excellent. As you can see, it's pretty similar to the design and shape of the Orbit key organizer, but with a few distinct tweaks and changes that I think make a big difference. First off, it's a toolless design. I talked about that before. It's a little bit difficult. I live in an apartment, can't make spare keys. I have a cat sitter come by sometimes, so I have to take and remove keys off of these pretty frequently, in addition to just trying different key organizers. These don't require any tools or any special things to be able to take these off and remove them. It's just a little snap mechanism, and you can take these and change as needed. It holds 3 to 9 keys, pretty similarly compact size to the Orbit key organizer. That was my big issue with the Distill Union one. I like the design, but it just ended up being pretty gigantic and then a little floppy. This is just really nice and tight in the design. That snapping mechanism is super satisfying. I do really like as well that they cover up the hardware with the leather on the exterior. I think it gives it a little more of a simpler, more polished type of look. I do actually have one other key organizer I'm going to be testing and trying in my search for the perfect key organizer for all of you. So I'll be sure to report back in the spring update how that goes. But impressions on this after a few months have been great, and this one is going to be really tough to beat. In addition to the keys, I have been using their multi-tool as well. You know, most of these are just essentially like a glorified bottle opener. This one, the quality is pretty solid though, and it's nice just to have a pry bar if you need it, bottle opener. This has a little nail file on it, screwdriver. You know, it doesn't come in handy super often, but when it does, it's great. And just having it tucked away in here has been really handy to have as a kind of just in case small multi-tool option. Moving on from there, I've got my wallet. I've talked about this a few times. I'm going to be pretty brief, but this is the Reform card holder wallet, the version 2 of the 2 versions that they have available. These are still in sort of like pre-early bird type of shipping, so they're a little bit discounted from their full retail price when it officially launches. Been really happy with it though. The material is called Refine. It's really similar to the Wayfinder wallet that I used in the past. Water resistant, really thin and light, especially considering this is a folding wallet and not just a single card holder wallet. It has about the same depth as just an unfolding wallet. I really like it's a magnetic closure as well. Weighs less than an ounce. I think it's 24, 26 grams, something like that. Really satisfied with this. Check out a couple of the other videos. I talked about this more in depth in the last update for sure. I've finally taken the slightly divisive plunge, and I've been using the James brand Carter pocket knife. I know a lot of knife enthusiasts have some pretty strongly mixed opinions on the James brand knives, but I've had this for about 4 months now, I believe, and have been so happy with it. This is the Carter, like I said. It's the OD green and stainless steel variant. It does say OD green micarta, but it's more of like a natural sort of brown tan type of color in my opinion. It's a little less green than I had anticipated, but this thing has been excellent, and there definitely is a level of polish and quality to these compared to a lot of the other knives I've tried. So I definitely get the appeal. I love the design. You know, it's that more sort of minimalist, you know, high polish just quality, design, and intention behind how they build everything. The blade is a VG10 steel. It's 2.75 inches for the blade and a total of 6.5 inches fully unlocked and opened. It's kind of right in the middle of the road on the weight. This weighs 3 ounces, so it's not going to be as light as a Bug Out or something like that, but it's not going to be a really heavy one. I think the micarta saves a bit of weight here. On top of just the general quality and polish to the design, I really do like the thumb stud as well. It is fully symmetrical, so if you're left-handed or right-handed, us left-handers have to worry about that sort of stuff a little bit more than the average person. I've never been one to prefer thumb studs over like the flick lock on the Civivi knives, but this one is satisfying, and especially after a few months, it's really nice and loosened up and just feels great in the hand. Nice and polished, really quality design. I definitely see and understand the appeal after a few months with one. Really quick, I want to thank LARQ for sponsoring this week's video and take a minute to talk about the LARQ bottle filtered. Been a really big fan of LARQ for quite some time now. I use their LARQ bottle movement with the UVC cap, as well as their LARQ pitcher at home, which has the filter technology and a physical filter as well as the UVC technology. Well, they have now the LARQ bottle filtered that brings some of that physical filter technology into a personal single water bottle. Having a water bottle with a physical filter is a great way to help filter out microplastics and heavy metals and all of that stuff that you don't want in your water for safety purposes, but for me, even more so, it is a really great way to help improve the taste of the water. This is the 17-ounce version. They also have a 25-ounce version. It is an insulated bottle too, so it's going to help keep your drinks cold. One thing that I really love that they've done with this is they made it compatible with their UVC caps from their original bottle lineup, which is huge. So it's really great to be able to still have the filter to get the tastier water, but then you can still use the UVC technology as well to eliminate any viruses or problems that physical filters aren't able to remove from your water. So you can swap out the caps, clean your water bottle, swap back on the filter, and keep drinking. LARQ is also a 1% for the Planet member, which is great to see that they're doing good with their company. Be sure to check the links in the description down below if you want to learn more. I know I've talked about this thing before, but I am a huge fan of all of the LARQ products and was so happy to have them reach out and want to sponsor another video. So huge thanks to LARQ. Check those links in the description, and let's get on to the next item. You all know me, I am always carrying a handkerchief, mainly for allergies. I get a runny nose, especially in the colder weather. I tend to get a really runny nose when I'm out and about. And a lot of you might not know if you're newer to the channel, I'm generally on foot. I don't do a lot of driving. That's why you never see car keys in my EDC either. I have an older car that I take out for road trips to go camping and backpacking, but otherwise I'm generally walking around the city and outside. That's why I carry a few extra things. That's why I always carry a sling bag, because everything has to be on my person all the time. I don't have a car or anything like that when I'm going about my normal day-to-day type of errands, but always carry a handkerchief. I found these last year, the Vala Alta handkerchiefs. They are 100% Irish linen, so a little bit different from the standard cotton handkerchief. I have really grown to love these, and if you've been watching the channel for a while, I've spent years searching for the perfect handkerchief, and so far, several months, maybe like 6 months or so in with these, and I think I found it. They're 12 by 12. That might be my one gripe with these. I'd love to see like a 14 by 14 or 15 by 15. Just a smidge bigger is my preference, but I love the feel and the fabric of the linen. It dries really fast. Linen is antimicrobial as well, so it's a little bit more sanitary than using cotton handkerchiefs. I bought a 5-pack of these. They were $65, pretty reasonable in price. It's one of those things where the more that you buy, the less they are per handkerchief. So check these out if you're in the market. They are great. I know that is another pretty divisive topic. A lot of people think handkerchiefs are gross. I love them. Excellent. Another newer item since my last update, I did make the switch over to the AirPods Pro Gen 2. I didn't really need to. The Gen 1 was working great for me, but my wife's AirPods ended up dying. She doesn't really care about new tech as much as me, so I gave her my Gen 1 AirPods Pro and ended up buying the Gen 2 so I could test it out and try it, share my thoughts. I've been really impressed with these, more so than I expected. Like I said, I didn't need new headphones and I wasn't really expecting a big change. The sound quality is definitely a significant upgrade over the Gen 1. Whether it's worth the price to upgrade is definitely an up to you sort of thing. Personally, I probably wouldn't unless my AirPods broke, like my situation, but if you are in the market for some new ones, I have been really impressed. The bass response is excellent. There's more bass, but it's also just a lot tighter. of a sound. It's tough to describe. I'm not a huge audiophile, but I did play music for most of my life. Just really good sound quality for these. It was definitely a big surprise for me. A few other non-stock changes to these. I am still using the Comply foam tips. They fit my ears much better and more comfortably. I feel like they stay in a lot better. I don't really know how it affects the sound. I haven't used the silicone tips in a while, but I'm a really big fan of these foam tips. And then I do have a Nomad case on here. It's a nice Horween leather. It's been aging pretty wonderfully since I got it. It's just nice to have the better aesthetic and some drop protection. I leave these on the counter generally day to day because I use them around the apartment. My cat loves to hop on the counter and knock stuff off of the counter, so keeps them safe from cat drops. And yeah, been really happy with these overall. For my phone, I have been using the iPhone 14 Pro Max. I upgraded from the 12 Pro Max when this one came out last fall. I've been pretty happy with it, just with the exception of battery life. Not that the battery life is bad, but I just had higher hopes for a much bigger extended battery over the 12 Pro Max that I had before this for a few years. Aside from that, though, it's been a great upgrade. The deciding factor for me was that new satellite connectivity. I'm going to save some money from my Garmin subscription when I'm out backpacking. And because the battery's been a little disappointing, I have still been carrying, this is the Banks MagClap wireless Magsafe battery. It's a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and I just love the form factor and the fit and finish of this thing. They're $34 on Amazon right now, if memory serves me right. Hopefully that price stays, but it's USB-C. It charges at 7.5 watts, which, you know, it's not the full 10 or 15 watt wireless charging, but more than enough, especially considering you can still use it and just throw this on and go about your day and not really think about it. This one's only 5,000 milliamp hours as well, which I would definitely prefer 10. I was double checking some links and stuff when prepping for this video. I did see that they came out with a 10,000 milliamp version of this, so if that is a deal breaker for you, check that one out. I haven't tested it yet, but if it's anything like this, I'm sure it's great. But this one is really nice and slim because of the smaller form factor. And out of all of the MagSafe batteries I've tried, I think this one just feels the nicest on the phone and in hand. Makes it just that much easier and more out of the way when you're using it compared to the handful of 10,000 milliamp hour batteries I've tried. I love this. It's like a soft touch silicone feel on here. It's really nice quality. I like the color as well. And based on all of your recommendations, I still continue to carry the nano bag. This thing has came in handy so many times when I'm out and about. Everyone's always so impressed too if I'm out with a group of people, like we have carry out boxes or something, and I can just pull out a bag out of my little, you know, sling bag man purse, and everyone's always really happy. It's so convenient and nice. It weighs less than an ounce. I'm not sure what the volume capacity of this is. It's a pretty standard like shopping bag type of size, but these are $14, I believe, and I would have never heard about them had it not been for all of you letting me know in the comments last year sometime. So thank you all for that. I still am continuing to use and love this thing and never leave the house without it. Again, because I'm on foot, not with a car. I have to carry a lot of stuff a lot of times, all my groceries, all of that stuff. So always comes in handy if I need to stop and grab something quick. I made sure to put it up on the desk here so I don't forget like I have in the past, but the sling bag I've been using for the past 3 or 4 months is the Bellroy 6-liter Venture Sling. This is actually the first Bellroy product I've tried or tested, believe it or not. I know they are really popular, just one of those brands I had been meaning to check out and hadn't yet. Got the Venture Sling back in October, I believe, and have been using it ever since. I love the 6-liter capacity of this thing. I think it is a great kind of middle of the road size for me. I don't like the ones that are really small. This one's just a perfect middle ground. I think 6 liters is the perfect size for me in most scenarios. What really surprised me and drew me to this one is it's made out of EcoPack. I see EcoPack all the time in the outdoor backpacking community, but I haven't really seen it used much in the normal like day-to-day EDC travel backpacks, that sort of thing. So I was really curious to test it out and try it. Impressions on the material are great. It is incredibly water resistant. I've had this thing out in pouring rain all the time for the past few months here in Portland. It also has nice water resistant, waterproof zips on here as well. So I haven't had any leaking issues, even in like downpours for an hour plus when I'm out walking. Really great. The one complaint I have with this is the organization. I've gotten so used to and spoiled by the Air Sling and crossbody body bags. I really like how they lay out their organization on the interior. I think this one's a little lacking for my personal needs, but I love the size and the shape and the volume. I love that it's EcoPack. I've been pretty happy with this thing so far. Couple of last items on my person. I have fallen into a bit of a rabbit hole getting into G-Shocks and some of these older vintage Casio watches, but the main watch I've been wearing is the G-Shock Mudmaster. This is the GGB 100-1B, the all black quad sensor Mudmaster. This thing is a beast of a watch. I've always been a big fan of the big watch faces. It has an altimeter, temperature sensor, step counter, a compass. It is, in my eyes, the ultimate adventure watch. I ended up looking into some options after I saw the Apple Watch Ultra come out and found this and just have been so happy with it. I love the design. Functionality is just top tier for sure. I've been wearing a few different watches, but yeah, this one's definitely been the main wear over the past several months and will probably continue through the summer as I get into the backpacking seasons and stuff later in the year. And you all know I love my hats. I've been wearing this Don't Trip hat from a company called Free and Easy. I actually found out after I bought it that this was a hat famously worn by Mac Miller before he died. I had someone that thought I was just a big Mac Miller fan. That's why I had the hat. It's kind of a chicken and egg type of scenario, but yeah, really great hat. I found it on Huckberry. It is out of stock right now though. I'll put a link wherever I can find it, and hopefully they just restock it soon anyway. But that wraps it up for the EDC. Definitely some changes here, but I have been using this stuff for several months. Like I said, I feel like it's been an eternity since I've done an update, so I was really excited to get this one out. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Love to hear about your EDC setups down in the comments. If you have questions about any of this stuff, if I forgot anything, be sure to let me know. And thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next week.